the ball. It's in the air. Deep kick's going to take 13. Willie Davis back at the 10, the 15. He's at the 20. He's at the 30. Willie at the 35. Cuts to the 40, the 50. Willie gets a block. He's at the 40. He's going to take it the distance, I think, at the 5-10 touchdown. Valdosta State, no flags on the field. A return of about 95 yards for Willie Downs.
Not a single flag, Dick Rocky.
The David Dean Show, your weekly look at Valdosta State University Blazer football, is brought to you by Georgia Farm Bureau.
Hello and welcome to the David Dean Show. I'm Dick Rocky with the head coach. The Blazers make the long trip to Livingston, Alabama, and drop their first game of the season, 49-30 to the University of West Alabama. And Coach, you and I were just talking a great Division II atmosphere with the crowd, and just a great night other than that 49-30 score.
Well, the home side was completely packed, and then they had a lot of fans down in the end zone area and another group of stands. And there's a hill on next to the stands, and it was full. And it was a great atmosphere. They were loud. They cheered the entire game, and our pep band showed up there, which I really appreciate. It was really a surprise to me. We had a lot of good fans, so it was a great atmosphere that night. It's one that our kids were proud to play in front of.
And I think we saw, if not the most exciting, but one of the most exciting players in Division II football in Kyle Caldwell. He's 5'7", weighs about 155, maybe 160, and just very elusive.
He is. He's a playmaker for them. He's the one that kind of makes their whole offense go. He's been that way since he was a freshman. He just gets better and better and better. And we knew going into the ball game that we had to keep him contained in the pocket, and the big plays that they made in the ball game were the ones that he broke out of the pocket.
Well, it was a good night, and the Blazers, we're going to see here in just a moment with the highlights, but got off to a really good start on the kickoff, and we'll see that shortly, but they responded right back.
Well, a good football team's going to do that, and it was a slugfest there for about 3 quarters, and a couple of mistakes by us allowed them to build up a 2-score lead, and was just something that we couldn't overcome.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with the first half highlights in just a moment.
What will you find at Valdosta State University?
Challenging academics.
Innovative hands-on experience. Over 100 fields of study.
Engagement in a vibrant community.
Caring mentors and friends. Service and leadership opportunities.
Championship athletics.
The full university experience.
At Valdosta State University.
My name is Shantavius Stretch Jones, wide receiver from Stone Mountain, Georgia, and you're watching The David Dean Show. Go Blazers.
Welcome back to The David Dean Show, and Coach, just a couple things that jumped out at me number-wise, and I always kid you because you don't really care about most numbers, the stats and everything, but they had 5 different receivers score a touchdown on 12 catches for over 300 yards. They're a big play team.
They are, and they made a lot of big plays in that ball game, and that's a credit to them, and it's also some mistakes by us. But they've been that way all year, and we knew that we had to limit those big plays. And you'll see in this, a lot of those big plays were made just like we talked about earlier with Kyle Caldwell getting out of the pocket, making some things happen and creating plays.
Let's go ahead and jump right into the highlights of the first half. And the Blazers come out wearing white for the first time this year. Been in black uniforms all season, but here they come. And we had a pretty nice crowd because that's a heck of a trip for anybody to get over there.
It is, especially on a Thursday night. It's not easy to do. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but what a great start to the ball game. They won the toss and deferred, and we elected to receive, and we get a great start right here with Willie taking the opening kickoff back, got great blocking. You can see right there Davis Durham leading him down, finishing the last block. And great way to start. Go 14 seconds into the ball game and we got a lead. They unfortunately had a very good returned it out to about the 50-yard line. We had a breakdown in our coverage there. It's something that we've been doing a very good job of this year. Allowed a big return. They hit a couple of passes early on. This is their running back that transferred in from Florida International. He's a very good running back. And he made a lot of things happen for them leading up to that game, and we contained him pretty well. They do a great little play action right there and throw the touchdown and tie it back up. Was proud of the way that we responded after that touchdown. This is our first series offensively, and we put together a nice drive. We had a penalty on our kickoff return that made us start inside the 10-yard line. And you can see we've come out here and we've moved the ball all the way out to the past the 50-yard line. Unfortunately, we stalled out, and then Dom DeMasi comes in here. What a great punt this is. And Mel Magwood, great hustle coming down, makes the catch there, and we pin him on the 2-yard line. That ended up being a huge play for us. We challenged our defense to keep them down in there. We felt like we had an opportunity to block a kick, and then Monte Ridley comes off and blocks it and goes out of the back of the end zone. We pick up 2 points and go up 9-7. And then put together again another nice little drive here. We're one tackle away from really breaking that one for a touchdown. And then another nice run here by Cedric O'Neal. And unfortunately, we didn't put this one in the end zone. We come down, and I think this was a kind of a momentum swinger for us right there. We could have gone up 12-7. We missed the field goal, and we give them the ball back here. Great play there by Lawrence Virgil. Big play there by Jeremy Grable making a big stop. And then you can see right here, we do a great job there on their run. You know, that guy has put a lot of yardage up this year, and he didn't get very much till late in the ball game when they started feeding him late to run the clock out. We did a good job of containing. Here's a nice run, nice little hesitation run that they have, and he gets in the end zone. And again, we go back down by 5. Good naked play here. Will Johnson with a nice catch. It's about 10 yards off the naked. And then again, another nice run here by Cedric O'Neal, gets about 5 yards. It doesn't look like it's getting a lot, but his leg drive gets in about 5. And really can't appreciate that play until you know how fast that number 22 is, and Jeremy Grable runs him down. I think that kind of surprised him. Great play here by Dominique Wheeler, knocking the ball away on the long pass. That's something that we did in the first half. We knocked a lot of those balls away, and we didn't in the second half. Unfortunately, we lost Willie right there. That was a 3rd down catch. He turned his ankle, and we lost him for the rest of the game right in there. Again, you see Cedric picking his way, making a nice run, and then great throw right here. Tyree Waiters is first touchdown catch for us right there. And Willie's back up, and it's good to see him come in and play well. Again, you can see how we're doing a good job against the run. We got a lot of white jerseys around that football, not letting them get loose. And here's where he just makes plays. You can see if we can keep him contained in the pocket right there. We've got him back there, and it's a 3rd down. And they come and they run us a couple of trick plays back to back against us. This one was successful for them. The next one they throw backwards and goes out of bounds, and they end up punting the ball to us. And I thought we did a very good job here. They pinned us down inside about the 10-yard line, and we ran the clock out the rest of the half. You know, I think we did not end up getting a first down. We ended up punting back to them, and they downed it because they had very little time left. But I thought this was a great drive for us, not to give them the football back, and us allows us to go in with a 16-14 lead there at the half.
First half, probably what people expected, you know, a close, tight football game, and both teams played well. And but as you go into the locker room, what's on your mind? What do you want to tell your team about the second half?
We want to play the second half like we played the first half. We played at a very slow pace. We tried to keep their offense off the field. They were the second leading offense in the country going into that ball game, and we knew they were explosive. And I thought our game plan offensively and defensively was very good, obviously, you know, holding them to a 16-14 lead. And we wanted to do the same thing in the second half. Unfortunately, they made 2 big plays right off the bat in the 3rd quarter and kind of got us out of what we wanted to do the rest of the game.
All right, Coach, back with the second half in just a minute.
I got my MBA online at VSU. As a working mom who travels on business, I needed an MBA program that fit my schedule and allowed me to balance both my work and home life. VSU's Web MBA was perfect. I was able to spend time with my family in the evenings and then complete my assignments. My MBA is one of my greatest accomplishments. It was hard work, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. Don't wait. Start your MBA today.
The David Dean Show is brought to you by Georgia Farm Bureau and also by Mediacom, First State Bank and Trust, Blanton and Griffin, Anheuser-Busch, Holiday Inn, Prince Automotive, and U.S. Education TV.
Coach, as you come out of the locker room with a close game, 16-14, the second half they just sort of took control of the football game with big play after big play.
Well, they did. Their offense got in gear, and they started making some big plays. And a couple of them were mistakes by us. But a good football team's going to find ways to make big plays, especially one as explosive as they are offensively. And they did. And to their credit, they made some big plays and got that 2-score lead against us.
Real briefly, I said that West Alabama, I think, would rather beat Valdosta State than anybody else in the conference. I mean, maybe everybody's like that, but I'm saying this has become a huge rivalry, these two schools right now. It
is. You could tell when we got to the stadium that they were excited about us being in town. I'm talking about their fans, and they were giving us a hard time in warm-ups, and when we got there, got off the bus. But you could tell at the end of the game, it was like they won the national championship. It was the same reaction that we had with our fans when we ran out on the field at the end of the game in Florence, Alabama, the 3 times we won it. That's exactly the way they reacted.
All right, let's watch the second half highlights here. Pretty good little hike down from the locker room.
Yeah, that's a long haul down that hill. I've made it. Gosh, I don't know. I've been coaching in this league now for 25 years and probably made it down that hill about 13, 14 times. Again, that's a good little atmosphere over there. They love their football in Alabama, as most people know. We come out in the second half, and again, we're doing a great job against their run, shutting it down. And here's a big play again there by Lance Holder, knocks the ball away and prevents the deep ball. They've moved the ball here a little bit. And here's the guy that hurt us last year in the regular season, and we did a good job of containing him. He had a couple of passes against us. Great play here by Lawrence Virgil. And we've got him stopped. This is a 3rd down and very long, and unfortunately this was a play here that their wide receiver moved. We get a block in the back right there, and then this is what he does. He just makes things happen, and you just can't cover anybody that long. We've got to put pressure on him. That was a big throw and catch. And then, again, a great run, the hesitation there, again, that he waits for that hole to open up. And they do a great job and drive down in the start of the 3rd quarter and take the lead. And, here's one where we've got to respond like we did before. We've got to come back and we've got to put together, at least get to a field goal here. And unfortunately, we ran the wrong depth of a route there, and we end up short on 4th down. You can see we do a great job of pinning them down with a great punt again, forcing them to go a long way. And that's exactly what they do. Our eyes go in the backfield and don't stay on the receiver, and he gets loose. And they end up putting a long touchdown pass on us, and now they're up 2 scores extremely quickly there in the 3rd quarter. Again, good run here by Austin Scott, good blocking there on the outside. I thought our offensive line played an outstanding football game, probably the best defensive line that we've faced this year. And I don't think we gave up a sack in the game. Great job here on 3rd down conversion, throwing the ball there to Tyree. And here's a 4th down. We go for it, get the quarterback sneak. Good read there on the zone read by Caden, makes a nice run. Again, we're moving the ball very well. Great throw and catch here to Shontavious. He makes a great move after the catch. Gets a really good corner that they have, and that safety that was chasing him right there was the one that was the 2nd leading tackler at Auburn University last year. He couldn't run Shontavious down. A big time play there, and then again, here's one where we're starting to lose our edge there on the runs, where we were stopping them and not allowing them to get the yardage down the field after contacts. They're starting to get that now, and that ended up kind of being the difference in the game. Great protection here by them, great route by their great wide receiver, and they respond like all good football teams do. They had 3 possessions there in the 3rd quarter and scored in their first 3 possessions so far. Good run again. You see we got great blocking down the field. We pick up about 8 yards on the hand sweep. And, we're still in the game. We're still making some things happen. And unfortunately, we don't make the 1st down there and end up punting out. Our defense comes out and does a great job of bowling them up here, and they throw a screen, and we got it covered pretty well, and they punt back to us. So our defense makes a great stop after 3 straight series where they score a touchdown. And here's just a mistake on our part. We have a punt fake, called and we have a check off of it, and we checked out of it and everybody got it but the snapper. He snaps it to the up back, and so we end up being short, giving them great field position, and they capitalize on it and go up there, and as you can see, by 19. And now we got to respond, and I'll give our kids a lot of credit. There was no panic on the sideline. They knew that they were still in the ball game. All we had to do was make some plays. You can see great protection against a great defensive line. This is a defensive line that the week before had about 8 sacks and caused 2 fumbles that went for touchdowns, and they didn't get near Caden a lot of times. And we had 4 starters out in that game on the offensive line. Lucky break here. We dropped the snap on a quick snap, and great run there by Caden running over their linebacker to get in the end zone, and great response right there. We need another big stop here by our defense. Again, they're still running to the football and game tackling in there. And again, there's one of those where they're just kind of slipping through a little bit, and then unfortunately here they hit us with the same pass again. And, kind of a questionable call there. They had a guy down the field blocking the guy that was trying to cover. And unfortunately, we didn't get that. We should have been off and covered that up. Great, again, you see our offense moving the ball back down the field again. And then unfortunately here, we just lead him a little bit too much, and they make a great interception there that kind of fizzled the game out for us. And they got the ball back, drove down the field, and ran the clock out on us and finished off the game.
Well, it was a good game, and you guys hung in there, and Coach, the problem with sports, you're not going to win them all.
No, you're not going to win them all. But like I told our kids in the locker room, they've had 4 straight Thursday night games. Yeah. We had basically 4 days that we had to prepare for that game, and our kids fought their fannies off all the way to the end and still had a chance to win that ball game. And I couldn't be any more proud of a group of guys on a short week to go in there and play after a road trip like they did.
And really, things are no different for the Blazers than they have been the past few years. You got the 1 loss now on the board, but there's a lot of football left in this season, and we know that 1 loss is going to still get you in the playoffs.
Well, it does, and it's where we want to be. We control our own destiny. All we have to do is we have to win our remaining 5 games, and it all starts in the next week. We always talk about play 1 game a week, and we got to put this one behind us and move on to the next one.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. We'll be back with the Drury Inn and Suite scoreboard in just a moment.
What will you find at Valdosta State University?
Challenging academics.
Innovative hands-on experience. Over 100 fields of study.
Engagement in a vibrant community.
Caring mentors and friends. Service and leadership opportunities.
Championship athletics.
The full university experience.
At Valdosta State University.
Lawrence Virgil, defensive tackle, Brooks County, and you're watching the David Dean Show.
Welcome back to the Drury Inn and Suite scoreboard. And Coach, I'm going to throw some new scores at you here, some new teams, but region teams. UNC Pembroke, who I think we see later in the season, 45-22 over University of North Carolina. Charlotte, an FCS school.
Doesn't get any easier. They beat an FCS school. They're undefeated this year, and we play them about 4 weeks down the road, so not a good pickup for us.
North Alabama 38, West Georgia 21.
Yeah, that was a close game for a while, I think, and North Alabama looks like they've got themselves turned around after that loss to Delta.
And again, most of these scores, because the conference scores, there really weren't hardly anything to talk about. But Newberry undefeated 44-9 over Tusculum.
Yeah, we saw Newberry earlier in the year when they played Florida Tech, and they looked very good, and they're off to a great start, being 6-0.
And Carson Newman looks like they're back on the road, 45-28 over Shorter out of our conference.
Yeah,
whatever.
Carson Newman's always going to have good, solid football players, and they always play very well.
And the final score, Lenore Ryan 35-17 over North Greenville.
Those are the 3 over there: North Greenville and Lenore Ryan, Carson Newman, and Newberry, that are all in that south region that we got to watch and keep an eye on the rest of the way as far as jockeying for playoff positions.
All right, Coach. We'll be back with the Georgia Farm Bureau look ahead in just a second.
The David Dean Show is brought to you by Georgia Farm Bureau and also by Colony Bank, the Houston Clinic, Sunset Farm Foods, Drury Inn and Suites, the Georgia Lottery, and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I got my MBA online at VSU. As a working mom who travels on business, I needed an MBA program that fit my schedule and allowed me to balance both my work and home life. VSU's Web MBA was perfect. I was able to spend time with my family in the evenings and then complete my assignments. My MBA is one of my greatest accomplishments. It was hard work, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. Don't wait. Start your MBA today.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia Farm Bureau Look Ahead. And Coach, going up to Carrollton, Georgia this week, Saturday, 2 o'clock kickoff, West Georgia, in-state rivalry, always a big game. And they're playing pretty well this year.
They are. They've lost 2 ball games. They lost to Midwestern State, which is a very good football team, and then lost to North Alabama last night. They're playing much better than they did last year, and you know, that's always a great place to go play. It's a beautiful stadium, beautiful facility, and it's another one of those where we're walking into a hostile environment and a group that doesn't like the VSU Blazers.
No, that's for sure. I guess that's like everybody else we play.
Yeah, that's right.
But Coach, I was obviously coming back after the game, getting to Montgomery late, the hotel. I was thinking about the game and bothered about it. And then when I got home and read the paper and saw some of the comments of your players, I felt better with their attitude. Seemed to be, it's over and done with. We'll start. Cadence, I think, said we'll start a new winning streak.
Exactly. You know, we were in this situation last year, and they understand it. And they're a good group of guys. Our coaches do an outstanding job of preparing them each and every week. And you know, the good thing about our players is what we try to teach them is worry about the next snap, worry about the next game, worry about the next practice. And that's what they do. They focus in on that. And we set a goal at the beginning of the year to go 3-0 in the state. We've beaten Fort Valley, we've beaten Shorter, and now if we can beat West Georgia, we'll go to 3-0, and we accomplished one of those goals.
Now, a scouting report. Tell us about West Georgia. What do we expect on offensively and defensively with them?
Well, they're very athletic defensively. Looks like they're much improved. They were giving up a lot of yards last year. They've cut that down a good bit. So obviously athletically they're a lot better. They do a lot of play action stuff, a lot of misdirection runs that kind of get you a little bit nervous with having an aggressive type defense and a speed defense, because they can get you out of position and get you over pursuing some. It's an afternoon game, and they normally don't play afternoon games, so I'm not real sure we're not being a homecoming opponent again this year. But I know that they are always very, very good special teams, so that's going to be a big emphasis for us this week, is to win that special teams battle.
All right, Coach, we don't get a chance normally to talk about the players too much. We have such a short time, but I mentioned Tyree Waiters to you. Came in and had a nice game, had 5 catches, a touchdown, and just to me, just all of a sudden I saw him.
Yeah, it's one of those guys that you got to have somebody step up. Willie went down, and Tyree made some big catches in that ball game. Unfortunately, had one taken away, which would have been a touchdown when he caught the ball, and they stripped him and they rolled it incomplete. But he played an outstanding football game, and Shontavious Jones, in the absence of Willie Downs, you saw him step up and make a lot of big plays for us in that ball game. And it was good to have Reginald Lewis back. He made some big catches, some big blocks for us, and we just got to have Caden continue to play strong, and we still got to run that football with Austin and Cedric, and they're doing that.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. We'll get that winning streak started again next Saturday at Carrollton, Georgia. Kickoff time at 2 o'clock, and you can listen to the game. There's no TV on that game on the Blazer Radio Network. You can also go to vstateblazers.com and click on, I think it says listen live to the game. So it's about a 4.5-hour trip. If you want to come up and watch it, that would be appreciated too. It's the most beautiful stadium that you'll see in the Gulf South Conference. But tough loss for the Blazers, but another game coming up here next week, and we'll see what happens. So for the head coach, David Dean, I'm Dick Rocky. Hope you have a wonderful week.